everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back to Mini Chalks, the John Show. This is my small podcast where I just talk about a lot of different things that I find are interesting to me. So let's get right into it. Today we're talking about the truth about going to college if you don't know what you want to do. I went to college without knowing what I want to do, and so I now have some thoughts on it, and I'm going to try to be very, very balanced in this podcast. Disclaimer, that just because I say something doesn't mean it won't be different for you. Your life is unique and your own, and it won't always necessarily turn out the same way it turns out for other people. So with that being said, let's get right into it. The issue with going to college if you don't know what you want to do, there's a lot of different issues here. It's really a self-awareness game. If you don't know quite who you are yet, then you're actually taking a lot of risk just to discover that. I know a lot of the upsides of going to college is discovery, the experience, the new friends you make. All of that is great. But then again, it's also a very large financial and time commitment. And also a lot of energy commitment as well. And you can run into the trap where if you don't know what you want to do and you end up just signing up for something, you might end up being very, very discontented with that. And a little bit about my story is that I went for engineering and I made it all the way through. I graduated a 3-year program, but I was so displeased near the end of it. I was very, very beside myself and unhappy with what I was doing, that as soon as I graduated, I never applied for a single job in that field because I was just so sick of it, and I was so sick of pouring all of my energy and all of my time into something that I didn't feel mattered to me. I didn't feel it was important to me. And so that's the perspective that I'm coming at this from, and sort of just trying to help you guys be a little bit more aware of the danger that can beset you if you're not quite sure what you want to do. My main message here is this: don't stress about it as much as people want you to. I feel like we have this very, very unhealthy expectation in our society where we expect 18-year-old kids who just came out of a one-size-fits-all program probably don't know exactly who they are and who they're supposed to be yet, and yet we expect them to make a massive decision that will cost them upwards of $30,000 and put them in debt. They'll take them years to pay off, and it'll be a huge commitment for one of the best 4 years of their lives. Now, does that mean it won't be fun? Of course it'll be fun. And I'm sure many of you have had wonderful experiences in college. But if you're young and you are thinking of going to college, but you don't really know what you want to do, or worse, you know what you want to do, but it's not something that's going to make you a lot of money, or it's not something that you can go to college for, I would highly, highly encourage you to really take a second thought as to whether or not you should go, because I don't believe that the standard that people have set for us nowadays is actually really solid. I don't think that happiness, freedom, and fulfillment will come automatically just by going to college. That was one of the mistakes I made, is I believe that if I just went to college for something and I got that piece of paper, that I would get a job that I would enjoy, and then I would just make enough money and I would be happy, and then I'd be happy and fulfilled. Voila, problem solved, go to college. That's not true. That didn't work for me at all, and I'm just now, almost 3 years, oh my gosh, almost 3 years after graduating, just now sort of starting to figure out, what it is that I want to do. And it's, guess what? It's nothing you go to college for. And so that's kind of my perspective. You can do so many different things that will help you learn about yourself and discover who you are and what you're meant to do outside of college for less money. Save up your money, travel to a different country, learn about a new culture, volunteer, help people who are less fortunate than you. That's always a good thing. Drive across your own country and meet new people. Get a job in a field that's semi-interesting, that doesn't require a lot of credentials, and maybe see if you like it. If you hate it, well then great. You don't want to do that. Find a new job and test something else out. You don't always have to go for college or university right away. If you take 2 years off and you explore a bit, and then you decide that you really, really like the accounting side of one of the businesses that you're running and you think, hey, maybe I'd really enjoy being an accountant. Well, gosh darn it, by all means, go to business school or something and become an accountant. That is awesome. Go for it. But at least at that point, you have a bit more of an understanding of who you are and what you're about, and you're making a much more informed decision. So I'm not telling you guys to not go to college, not in the least. I'm telling you, learn about yourself, become self-aware, and make an informed decision. That way you make the right decision for you. That's what I'm saying. If it takes you 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, working in different fields, traveling to a bunch of different countries, or volunteering all your time to work for a charity to discover who you are and what you want to do, and then you go to university armed with that knowledge, then more power to you. Do that instead. Don't just jump into thousands of dollars of debt straight out of high school just because they said you have to. Who told you that? The universities that are going to make money off you? Come on. Know who you are first. Know thyself, and then use that information to make the right decision. That is my advice to you guys today. I hope it makes sense. Again, I'm not trying to knock college. I went to college. It was great. It was fun. Didn't work out for me the way I wanted, but it can be different for you. You might enter college not knowing anything about who you are, and then transfer to a different major that's really, really great for you, and it works. Awesome. That's wonderful. All I'm asking is that you consider doing what's necessary to make an informed decision. So whether that's taking a year off, or maybe you know exactly what you want to be and you go immediately out of high school. That's awesome. All I'm recommending is that you take the appropriate amount of time to make an informed decision about who you are and what you're meant to do here on this earth, and then use that to decide what you want to do. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for listening. Really glad to have you guys here, and I will see you all next time.